Welcome to a new video of Masters Academy NEET Physics. Topic covered Semiconductor Electronics Synopsis Part 1st, prepared by Santosh Kumar PK. Types of solids. We know that there are three types of solids, that is conductors, insulators and semiconductors. There are some properties with respect to these three materials. Electrical conductivity of conductors, it ranges from 10 to the power of 2 to 10 to the power of 8 mho per meter. Insulators 10 to the power of minus 8 mho per meter, and semiconductors 10 raised to minus 5 to 10 to the power of 0 mho per meter. Resistivity 10 raised to minus 2 to 10 to the power of minus 8 ohm meter for conductors. Insulators 10 to the power of 8 ohm meter, and semiconductors 10 to the power of 5 to 10 to the power of 0 ohm meter. So band structure, we know that in conductors the covalent band and valence band are overlapped. In insulators they are separated by a large energy gap, and in semiconductors they are separated by a small energy gap. So energy gap for conductors is almost zero. So for insulators energy gap is very large, greater than 3 electron volt, and for semiconductor it is less than 3 electron volt. Next, current carriers. In conductors it is free electrons. In insulators there are no current carriers, and in semiconductors the current carriers are free electrons and holes. So condition of valence band and conduction band at ordinary temperature. In conductors, the valence band and conduction band are completely filled, or conduction band is somewhat empty. In insulators, valence band is completely filled and conduction band is completely unfilled. In semiconductors, valence band is somewhat empty and conduction band is somewhat filled. So temperature coefficient of resistance for conductors positive, insulators 0 and semiconductors negative. So effect of temperature on conductivity, for conductors it decreases and for semiconductor it increases. Here insulator it does not depends. Next, effect of temperature on resistance increases for conductors, insulators it does not depends, and semiconductors it decreases. Examples for conductors, here are some examples for insulators and semiconductors. Intrinsic semiconductors. So we know that a pure semiconductor in which no impurity of any sort has been mixed is called intrinsic semiconductors. So the two intrinsic semiconductors are germanium and silicon. The properties of intrinsic semiconductors. In an intrinsic semiconductor, number of electrons is equal to number of holes, which is known as Ni, where Ni is the number density of intrinsic carriers. Conductivity of an intrinsic semiconductor is given by sigma is equal to E into Ne mu E plus Nh into mu H. The fraction of electrons of valence band present in conduction band is given by F. It is proportional to e to the power of minus Eg by kT. The number of electrons reaching from valence band to conduction band, N is equal to a t to the power of 3 by 2 into e to the power of minus Eg divided by 2 kT. Extrinsic semiconductors, N-type semiconductor. These semiconductors are obtained by adding a small amount of pentavalent impurity to a pure sample of semiconductor, either germanium or silicon. Which are the pentavalent impurities? They are arsenic, phosphorus and lead. Properties of N-type semiconductor. The majority charge carriers are electrons and minority charge carriers are holes. Though number of electrons is very much greater than the number of holes, therefore the electron current is greater than the hole current. The conductivity is given by sigma is almost equal to Ne mu E into E, and N-type semiconductor is electrically neutral, that means it is not negatively charged. Impurity in the N-type semiconductor is called as donor impurity, because one impurity atom generates one electron, and the donor energy level lies just below the conduction band. P-type semiconductor. These are obtained by adding a small amount of trivalent impurity to a pure sample of semiconductor. Trivalent means which are having the valence electrons 3. So examples: indium, gallium, aluminium and boron. Properties. Majority charge carriers are holes and minority charge carriers are electrons. Number of holes is very much greater than the number of electrons, therefore hole current is greater than the electron current. The conductivity is approximately equal to Nh mu H into E. P-type semiconductor is also electrically neutral, that means it is not positively charged. The impurity is called as acceptor impurity, and the acceptor energy level lies just above the valence band. The conductivity of semiconductors. In intrinsic semiconductor, number of electrons is equal to number of holes, therefore both electron and holes contributes in current conduction. When some potential difference is applied across a piece of intrinsic semiconductor, current flows in it due to both electron and holes, therefore total current is equal to IE plus IH, therefore I is equal to E into A, Ne into Ve plus Nh into Vh, where V and Vh are the velocity, electron and holes. We know that sigma, that is conductivity, is equal to J divided by E, where J is current density. So J is nothing but I by A into E. Now conductivity of semiconductor sigma can also be written as E into Ne into mu E plus Nh into mu H, where mobility of electron is given by Ve by E and mobility of force is given by Vh by E. PN junction diode as a rectifier. A rectifier is a circuit which converts AC to unidirectional pulsating output. Half-wave rectifier. When the PN junction diode rectifies half of the AC wave, it is called as half-wave rectifier. For half-wave rectifier, the average output in one cycle is IDC is equal to I0 by pi and VDC is equal to V0 by pi. Therefore, I0 is equal to V0 by RF plus RL, where RF, small rf is the forward bias resistance and RL is the load resistance. The RMS value of output is IRMS is equal to I0 by 2. Similarly, VRMS is equal to V0 by 2. The ratio of effective alternating component of output voltage or current to the DC component is known as ripple factor. Therefore, ripple factor for half wave is IAC by IDC, which is equal to IRMS by IDC whole square minus 1 to the power of 1 by 2 equal to 1.21. That is, ripple factor for half wave rectifier is 1.21. The efficiency is given by P out by P in, that is output power to the input power into 100, which is almost 40.6 divided by 1 plus RF by RL. If load resistance is very much greater than RF, then efficiency is 40.6%, and if load resistance is equal to RF, then efficiency is 20.3%. Now, the form factor for half wave rectifier is IRMS by IDC, which is equal to pi by 2, that is 1.57. Full wave rectifier. It rectifies both, that is positive as well as negative half cycle of AC into output. Average output of full wave rectifier VAV is equal to 2V0 by pi and I average is equal to 2I0 by pi. Therefore, RMS output VRMS is equal to V0 by root 2 and IRMS is equal to I0 by root 2. Ripple factor R is equal to 0.48, which is 48%. Now the efficiency, so full wave rectifier, it is twice that of half wave. Therefore, 81.2 divided by 1 plus RF by RL. If RF is very much less than RL, the efficiency is 81.2%. The comparison between half and full wave rectifier, so average direct current, it is IDC is I0 by 5 for half wave, and for full wave it is 2 I0 by pi. Average voltage for half wave V0 by pi, for full wave it is 2 V0 by pi. So ripple factor it is 1.21, full wave it is 0.48. Efficiency 40% for full wave, 80%. Form factor half wave 1.57, it is 1.11. Next, transistor configurations. In common emitter configuration, we obtain the values of following parameters. Input resistance Ri is equal to delta VBE by delta IB, that is VCE is constant, that is the collector emitter voltage is constant. Output resistance R0 is equal to delta VCE by delta IC, the base current is kept constant. So it is in common emitter configuration. Now for common base configuration, the input resistance is delta VBE by delta IE, VBC is kept constant, and output resistance is delta VBC by delta IC. Here the emitter current is kept constant. Transistor as CB amplifier, that is common base amplifier. Characteristics: the AC current gain alpha AC is equal to delta IC by delta IE, so VB base voltage is kept constant. DC current gain alpha DC or alpha is nothing but collector current to the emitter current. Almost the value of alpha DC lies between 0.95 to 0.99 for a CB amplifier. Next, the voltage gain AV is equal to delta V0 by delta VI. Therefore, AV is equal to alpha AC into resistance gain. The power gain is change in output power to the change in input power, delta P0 by delta Pi. Power gain is equal to alpha AC square into resistance gain. Next, transistor as a CE amplifier. Here the AC current gain, it is beta AC is equal to delta IC by delta IB, VCE is kept constant. DC current gain beta DC is equal to IC by IB. Voltage gain AV is equal to delta V0 by delta VI is equal to beta AC into resistance gain. So now power gain is delta P0 by delta Pi, which is equal to beta AC square into resistance gain. Next it comes the transconductance of a CE amplifier. It is represented by GM. GM is equal to delta IC by delta VEB. Also GM is equal to AV by RL. Then what is this transconductance? The ratio of the change in collector current to the change in emitter base voltage is called as transconductance. Next, the relation between alpha and beta. So beta is equal to alpha divided by 1 minus alpha, and alpha is equal to beta divided by 1 plus beta. The synopsis of logic gates, which is very important, will be uploaded in the next video, that is the part 2nd video of this semiconductor electronics synopsis. Dear friends, if you find this video useful, please subscribe to our channel and share it to your friends. Thank you.